This is Oscar Bevis for the Stomping Ground, powered by Wow Hydrate and available on DAZN. Congratulations, Frank. Does tonight go some way to taking a bit of the damage off?
Getting there, slowly but surely. We obviously Sky beat Raven. Now tonight Shabaz goes in there and does the job, an outsider as well. You know, many people didn't give him the chance tonight. So what a performance from him. You know, he went in there, but great fight and respect to Liam as well, because it was a tremendous fight.
Yeah, I just overheard you talking to Frank Warren in another interview, and you said, based off some inactivity and past performances, perhaps people, well, not right, but that's the reasoning as to why they come in tonight, and said, Liam's on a good run, he's looking menacing, he should do the business tonight, but like you said, Shabaz an outside.
Yeah, 100%. Look, I think, like I said in that interview there, you know, a lot of people judged him off that San Martin fight, and that wasn't the best of Shabaz Massud. You know, the best of Shabaz Massud is what you saw tonight and what he's going to carry on to do. You know, this sets him up for some big fights in the future.
Yeah. When you hear split decision, thoughts?
Fucking insanity. But something has to change in the sport. Like the right man won, right? That's great.
Will it get skipped over because the right man won?
That's the problem.
Because we're walking away with the result.
It's like, how do you not get the judges in, right, if there's a questionable scorecard? How can it be that wide? You know, we're all sitting there going, right, even if you were 8-4, 9-3 to Shabaz, how are you scoring it that wide? You know, but something has to change. But the problem is, nothing ever seems to change. Nothing is ever done about it. So it's like, how are these people not called in and said, right, tell me how you did that? How did you score it like that? And nothing ever changes. And like you say, because the right man won, probably it takes the edge off it and the push to do something. But something has to happen with all of these scorecards. You know, the 116, 112 in the Bivol fight, that scorecard tonight. They need to sort of take account, because otherwise, this sport, you know, you can ruin people's lives.
Yeah, I don't want to kind of dig into the whole conspiracy theory thing, but when you heard split draw as well, did it make you think if there to be some close scorecards, because he didn't win the fight, let's be honest, those close scorecards might go in the favour of the home fighter in Liam Davis?
Yeah, I don't, you know, I just think it's incompetence, if I'm honest. Like, it's just pure incompetence. But again, sit them down and say, explain to me this scorecard.
Watch the fight through.
That's all you need to do, right? And if you sit there and somehow come to the conclusion, go, yeah, fair enough, I understand, fair play, but nothing's done. So that's what needs to change.
Yeah. Well, Shabaz, like you said, rightly so, the winner tonight. What next for Shabaz? Obviously, IBO world champ. I know, look at the big fights. Above the winner of McGrail McCann, would you say? Or?
I mean, look, that's a great fight. McGrail and McCann, they fight in December. Obviously, on December 21st, a tremendous fight. I think our man does the job that night as well. I think Peter McGrail goes in there and does the job over Dennis McCann, but another brilliant fight. You know, I think Inoue's obviously holding all the belts. Let's see what he does as well in 2025 in terms of going up, you know, because if he moves up, then the belts could free up there. So I think there's a lot happening in the division. You know, Shabaz is going to take some time out now. He boxed. Obviously, he was in camp for this fight back in July. Got delayed to now. Take some time out, and then I'd say assess at the end of the year where the landscape is.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have got MJ as well.
Yeah, MJ fights on December 14th as well. You know, Medvedev for the WBA interim. If Inoue decides not to fight MJ next, or Inoue Goodman winner. You know, sorry for saying it would be Inoue, but if he chooses not to box him next, then MJ becomes the full champion, and you know, so we'll see. We'll see. There's some great fights to be made though, but all towards the end of this year, I think will play out.
Yeah, it's a lovely little division. I saw Joe Cordina tonight, and he was hinting in parts in our interview that he hasn't heard much from Matchroom since the Shakur Stevenson postponement. Did you catch up with Joe tonight?
Yeah, I saw him briefly. He said, what fight, you know, obviously we came to the end of our deal and had certain things in there around potential opportunities with Joe. We'll see what's available. You know, Shakur would have been a great fight. He looks like he's now going to have to fight Zepeda as part of his WBC mandatory. But, you know, I saw Joe earlier and just said, look, we'll work through it. I think he's obviously being managed as well by Spencer now. So we'll see what's possible.
Yeah, is there a chance you can sign another promotional deal, like a new one with?
Yeah, of course. But he's going to want the biggest fights possible as well, and you know, he might be waiting to see what those fights are.
Yeah. AJ, a bit of news this week that he might pull out through injury. Anything you can tell me about that?
It's more the time frames, you know, in terms of being ready for February. This is the most important fight of his career, where he needs to go in there 100%, because you know, if he loses here, it could be the end. You know, so he needs to be 100% in any fight he goes into. February would be too quick of a turnaround for him to be in camp fit and 100%. So, we'll see how things play out and get a time frame in. Obviously, the Fury-Usyk fight is in December, so that plays a part into it as well. So we'll go from there.
Yeah. It's a question I've asked quite a few people, something that took me by surprise, especially hearing it from a Fury. So Shane Fury said to me and Charlie at the Fury-Usyk presser, even if Fury's to win, the fighter's lost that little bit of spark. I mean, I guess you don't stand there as someone who promotes Anthony Joshua and says the same thing, but are you quite shocked by hearing something like that?
No, look, I still think it's one of the biggest fights in the sport.
100%.
Regardless of win, losses, draws, whatever it is, it's a fight that's been spoken about for so long, and it's a fight that I think needs to happen. I think it will happen before they retire. I think, I just think it's a huge fight when it comes around.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on Wardley Dubois? The noise around that.
Interesting. Look, Wardley's put
himself. Do you take that if you're Team Wardley?
Yeah, I mean, it's all about money as well, isn't it? It's an opportunities. He's got an opportunity to go in there. He's a big puncher. Look what he did in Saudi last month. He's a massive puncher. And if an opportunity like that presents itself and it's a good deal, why would you look away from it? Look at that. It's like being in a nightclub when you're getting chucked out.
And you get to see which bird you've been chatting to and you realise she's not
Maybe
the
you, Beavis, not me.
Those days past you?
Well past me. Definitely well past me, mate.
One more. Bivol, Beterbiev. Any update on Dmitry?
Hoping we get the rematch. I think that's the fight people want to see. His Excellency wants to see the rematch. It'll be an amazing fight. I believe Dmitry Bivol deserves to get the win that night, and he deserves his opportunity. So let's see. Fingers crossed.
Yeah. And you're going to? No, you're not going to Philly now. You're hopping on a plane, but I'll see you in Philly next week.
Yeah, I'm going to Antigua now, and then to Philly on Wednesday.
Yeah. Are you going to be at the cricket?
Is the cricket in Antigua?
Yeah, England are in the West Indies at the moment.
Probably pop in and have a look, mate.
Pop in and have a little goose, Frank.
Cheers,
Appreciate it,
sir.
mate.
Thanks,
Legend.
mate.